welcome to the second edition of the Futures League Rundown, presented by BlueFrame Technology, the official broadcast network of the FCBL. I'm your host, Matt Sottile. Today is Sunday, July 12th, and we have 10 great games to show you highlights from. And in order for you to get access to these games in real time, visit fcblnetwork.com, select a broadcast, and follow the purchase instructions. Single games are $8, and an all-access pass is only $99. That'll get you access to every single game this summer. BlueFrame, stream like a pro. We are now over a week into the Futures League season, and we have had some fantastic contests so far. So let's get right into the action. We begin on Tuesday night in Brockton when the Rocks hosted the Nashua Silver Knights. In the top of the first, Jared Dupree from Northeastern University wastes no time getting the Silver Knights on the board. He launches a 3-run home run to right field to give his team the 3-0 lead. Top two, it's Troy Schreffler Jr. out of Maryland. Puts the lead up to 4 with a shot that goes off the center field wall. Eventually drives in his teammate Luke Beckstein. Nashua up 4-0. Then it's Dylan Jones from Franklin Pierce with a slash down the left field line to score 2. Nashua up 7-0 after only 1.5. It's Evan Slate, the Rutgers Scarlet Knight, cuts into the Silver Knights lead. Drives one up the middle to score 2. It was a great game for Slate. He finished 4 for 4, was named Player of the Night, but Nashua rides the early offense and hangs on to a 10-6 victory. We now move on to Lynn, the Northshore Navigators hosting the Worcester Bravehearts in a matchup that many saw as a potential FCBL championship later on this summer. Top one, it's Austin Weil out of Stonehill College, gets the scoring going for the Bravehearts, puts one past the second baseman into right field. Worcester up 1-0. Bottom of the second, it's Ryan Tureen. He puts the Navs on the board. They're trailing 2-0. He puts an RBI double into the gap in right. We move ahead to the fourth, score tied at 2 still. It's Ryan Servone, the Northeastern Husky, who hits a bloop single that lands over the head of the third baseman, falls in between the left fielder and shortstop. It's an RBI single that scores Jake McElroy. Next batter, Jonathan Luters, hitting in the 9 spot out of Seton Hall. Puts an RBI single into right. Northshore, up 4-2. Later that inning, it was a big night for the Northeastern boys. Ben Malgeri steps up with the bases juiced, jumps on a 3-1 fastball, and hits a bases-clearing triple. The Navs score 6 runs in the bottom of the fourth and win this one 8-3. We now move on to New Britain, our final game of the night. Westfield Starfires playing their first game of the 2020 season. Starting pitcher for the Bees, Emmett Sheehan out of Boston College, strikes out the side in the first after allowing 2 walks. Crazy stat line for Sheehan, goes 2 innings, no hits, 6 Ks, 4 walks, and a hit by pitch, but Sheehan escapes the first 2 with no damage. In the top of the fifth, with his team trailing 2-0, it's Mark Coley of the Westfield Starfires, former Pittsfield son out of URI, ropes one over the left field wall. It's a 2-run shot. We are tied up. In the seventh, Starfires up 3-2 now. It's Drew DiMartino out of Uhart. Puts an RBI single into left center, adds an insurance run. Starfires win this one 6-4 and begin their 2020 campaign at 1-0. Now moving on to Wednesday, where we have our game of the season so far. Northshore playing host to Brockton. Top one, it is Joe Bramonte, the first baseman from the University of Maine, gives this ball a ride to the right field wall. 2 runs come around to score. The throw to the plate just off the mark. Brockton with a good way to open up this one. And they continue. Andy Mara in the top of the fourth. His single gets through the infield, scores 2 more. They're up 7-0. Then it's Jake McElroy out of Holy Cross, puts the Navigators on the board in the bottom of the fourth, puts one down the right field line past a diving first baseman. Navs trailing 7-1 with his sliding double into second. It's Ben Malgeri the following inning. He puts one down the right field line, also going oppo. Sal Fralick from Boston College coming all the way around from first base to score. Head first slide just in front of the tag. It's now 7-2. Cody Morissette, also BC bird ball guy. RBI single in between the first and second baseman. Ben Malgeri comes to score. It's quietly 8-3 now. And Sal Fralick in the 7th inning launches a 2-run missile He knows it's gone off the bat as soon as he hits it. Frelick brings his team to within 3 runs. Big game for Jake McElroy of Holy Cross, who scores 2 more with his single to right field. McElroy led the team with 3 RBIs on the night. And then your pitcher of the night, Jack Wallace from Franklin Pierce, comes in the top of the 8th and strikes out the side to give his team a chance to go ahead and come from behind for the win. Now in the bottom of the 8th, it's Malgiri at the plate again, gets one just past the reach of the second baseman. This one goes into right field, and the game-tying run comes across to score. With the go-ahead run 90 feet away, it's Cody Morissette, hits a chopper up the middle. Second baseman fields it, throw is just late. Morissette beats it out, and Bo Dana comes in the 9th to close this one out. Northshore comes back from a 7-0 deficit to win this one 10-8 and move to 4-0. Our next game is in Westfield, where the Starfires made their home opener, taking on the Worcester Bravehearts. This one a low-scoring affair. We pick this one up in the top of the 8th inning. It's Ben Rice out of Dartmouth, putting one deep to the wall in left center field. That one is out of here. Worcester taking a 2-1 lead, and in the 9th it would be Danny Torres who adds a solo shot of his own. Takes one, rips it into the same spot. Mark Coley ranging back to the wall, almost gets a glove on it, crashes against the left field wall, but this one over the fence, and Worcester would go on to win 3-1. Now moving on to our final game of Wednesday night, it was Nashua hosting New Britain. After an hour-and-a-half rain delay, Nashua wasting no time getting on the board. They explode for 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning. It starts off with Dominic Keegan out of Vanderbilt University, one of the Vandy boys. Launches one, it goes high off the wall in right field. All 3 runs come around to score. He goes into third with a stand-up triple. Keegan goes 2 for 4 on the night with a walk to go along with his 3 RBIs. He was named your FCBL Player of the Night. Next, it's John Mead out of Franklin Pierce. The very next batter puts one over the right field wall to score. Keegan, John Mead. Nashua up 5-0. Then Dylan Jones with 2 outs puts a double into the right field corner, scores both men that were on base. Nashua 7 runs in the bottom of the first, and that is all they would need. Silver Knights win this one 10-1. Now moving on to Thursday, where Northshore traveled to Brockton. A rematch of their epic clash the night before. In the top of the first, with runners on the corners and no outs, Cody Morissette flies one into left field. He scores Sal Frelick, his teammate from Boston College, on the sacrifice fly. Now top 4, it's Ben Malgiri who gets into the action. Sends one into the corner and left. Jonathan Luders comes around to score. Northshore up 2-1. We take it into the 4th, where Cody Morissette, another 2 RBIs for him, puts a single into center field. 2 come around to score. Northshore up 4-1. We now move into the top of the 6th. The Navs rolling. It's Logan Bravo out of Harvard. Puts one into right center. And look at Cody Morissette chugging all the way from first. Comes around to score. It's a bang-bang play at the plate. Morissette slides just in front of the throw. He finished 3 for 5. 5 RBIs and a run scored. He is your player of the night. We now move to Nashua, where the Silver Knights took their 2-game win streak up against the Worcester Bravehearts. In the bottom of the 2nd, it is Ben Rounds, a sophomore at Harvard, hits a chopper to the pitcher who fields and overthrows the first baseman. Nashua gets their first run of the night across. Now 2-0 still in the 2nd with the bases loaded. It's Troy Schreffler Jr. after a run was walked in, gets an RBI single to right, puts his team up 3-0. We now pick it up in the top of the 3rd. Jack Pulaski out of UMass had an incredible performance. Strikes out the side in the 3rd and the 4th. He was your pitcher of the night out of UMass. Went 2 2/3, had 7 Ks. Bottom of the 5th with the Silver Knights up 7-1. It is Jared Dupree, RBI single that gets into right. Gets the runner in from 3rd, and bottom 8 when it's already 11-1. This game's already over. It's Luke Beckstein, incoming freshman at Kansas State. Puts an RBI double, pulls it down the line into left. Nashua wins big. The final of this one, 12-1. Our final game on the slate Thursday night, New Britain playing host to Westfield, a rematch of Tuesday night when these 2 teams met. New Britain starting off hot. Ryan Bagdasarian looking for his first hit of the season. He gets it in the form of an RBI double. Tie game in the bottom of the second here when Danielle Rivera, the New Britain native, out of Southern New Hampshire University, puts the Bees on top, sends one down the left field line, doubles his team's score. They are up 4-2. Westfield allowed 6 consecutive walks to start off the bottom of the 6th, and it's Matthew Bertocci, RBI single up the middle, scores 2. Bees all over Westfield. 5 New Britain players finish the game with multiple RBIs as New Britain goes on to win 15-6. Now the lone game on Friday night, it was Nashua traveling to take on the undefeated Navigators. Cody Morissette picking up where he left off. An RBI triple down the line. Morissette cruising as he coasts into third. The runner scores from first base. Northshore up 1-0. Stand-up triple for Morissette. Then the second triple in as many innings came for Northshore when Ben Malgeri sends this one into the right center field gap. Another run comes around to score. Northshore up 3-0. Northshore starter Gavin Sullivan, a great outing on the mound, keeping his team on top. Comes out with a strikeout to end the top of the second, and then in the top of the third, the next hitter he faces also down on strikes. Luke Beckstein, another one down on Ks in the top of the fourth. Northshore wins their 6th game in a row to begin the season. They sit atop of the FCBL standings. Well, Futures League fans, that's all we have for you here tonight. Once again, thank you to our friends at BlueFrame Technology who are providing us highlights and making this show possible. Make sure to subscribe to the All Access Pass or purchase those individual games. Until next time, I'm your host, Matt Sottile.